Welcome back to SeaBATTLE Octarian Moon number 8. My name is Nato. I'm joined here by Riley. We're getting to the silver finals, Riley. How are you feeling about this?
I'm so excited because I know these are actually some teams we saw earlier today.
Indeed, yes.
When we were on the mic.
Yeah, and these two teams are both really interesting gameplay in general. Communication error has occurred on one side and then big hit beans on the other side. I'll tell you, communication error has occurred. They have played very interesting comps today. Like, very interesting comps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, as we were on earlier today, like, we saw a Flingza roller.
Yes.
We saw
The
a
rat
big swig.
Flingza.
A rat Flingza. We saw a big swig. Not together. We saw a...
At separate times.
At separate times.
Yes.
We saw an Explo, like, all kinds of crazy things out of them, and I think that's what's definitely helped get them up here.
Totally.
They're catching people off guard.
Oh, they really
are,
have, yeah. I think no one quite knows how to deal with the unexpected comps coming from them, but, you know, it's sort of later in the day now, and I think the word has kind of gotten around. Like, people are realizing, oh, man, this communication error team plays really interestingly and can get you. On the other side, we have Big Hit Beans, and Big Hit Beans is interesting because there's two SeaBATTLE veterans on the team, Makwa and Kraken, and then two new players to SeaBATTLE, Magic Storm and T-Man, and the combination of those two has been pretty powerful so far. I haven't seen them play on stream yet, but I did just casually see them play on some of our other stations, and I'm really curious to see how they deal with the unpredictability of communication error. So as we roll out here, Mako Mart zones, let's take a look at what these players decide to pull out. Oh.
All right, we're seeing that Explo again,
The
it looks like.
Back, exactly.
All right, versus a Dynamo on the other side.
Silver Arrow Spray. Silver Arrow Spray is one thing we didn't mention, that Noir T is actually a crazy Silver Arrow Spray player, both with the main weapon and the sub-weapon, and also just the painting power of the Silver Arrow Spray. Already, Mako getting a really good pick for the second one on my stack.
Yes, I'm so interested to see how the painting will pair up against a team versus team, because we see both like the Zinc Mini on the one side versus the Aerospray. I feel like it's a good mix of between paint specials and paint abilities and backline powerhouses on both sides.
Totally. Yeah, the paint is strong. I'd say probably in terms of raw paint power, it's probably a little stronger on the side of communication with the Ink Brush Flingza and the Explo, along with that Arrow Spray. But they've had a really good just fight here with Meat Beat coming out and getting an excellent pick on the left-hand side, taking that S-Blast down for the count. But, you know, Big Hit Bean says, we got a reslider of our own. We're going to try to recap the zone. Unfortunately, with only Makwa alive, it looks like communication error is really going to take advantage of this hole.
Yes, it looks like that they are able to build and really capitalize together on their off meta picks, or is it meta now in this new update?
Maybe this is the new meta,
Maybe
Riley.
This is the new meta. Pretty sure that's a different team though. But
yeah,
we are seeing. Yeah, it looks like Meat Beam's be able to, and the Flings are really able to help their teammates be able to establish that hold, because it's really hard to approach with the combined efforts of those weapons, just with how big their ranges are, as well as their AoEs.
Indeed.
And unfortunately, though, when their front lines go down, we see what happens here as the front lines of the opponent are able to move in pretty easily without contest, take a cap.
Yeah, to your point, Riley, the communication errors occurred, has a ton of paint, and they have weapons that can do some slaying, but it is more difficult. They have to rely on some of the more anchor backline weapons to kind of fill in the gaps here, and they're doing a pretty good job in it. We talked earlier about how well the Smiley Face Flingza player has been doing, just taking powerful positions forward, and here they do go down, but they bought a lot of time for their team behind them.
Yeah, and we're seeing now that we are slowly edging in on the end of the penalty phase for communication error, and now it's just points ticking down as we are getting ready a Shark just a moment too late, more of a victory cheer going on from the Shark.
Yeah.
With that wipeout, as we are down to the last 20
maybe a little overkill there, Noir, but you know, overkill is fine, and we're going to need to see an absolute miracle come from the side of Big Hit Beans as the Dynamo goes down. They need a pick and paint on the zone. That's just not going to happen with Sonic doing the brush things, ratting underneath the drop. That was a very strong showing, I'd say, from communication error.
Yeah, it looks like that these players do know how to play with each other. I'm sure that they probably spent a lot of time prior to this event to get at least theory crafting, and at least being like, okay, here's how you're going to play with this weapon that you don't normally see anymore.
Indeed.
So it's like yeah, they know how to work around each other really well, which I'm really, really excited to see how they're able to make work in the rest of this.
Yeah, just watching
set.
this replay, take a look at how Sonic and Smiley work together underneath the left drop of their opponents. They don't necessarily need to get the pick immediately, but what they can do is just fling enough ink over to say, you can't drop or else we're going to splat you. I think they splatted one or two of their players anyway, but like the point is we want to hold for as long as possible and then buy our teammates behind us time to hold the zone. It worked out extremely well. Now, Riley, I think the most interesting thing about this to me is what you said earlier. The combination of the kill power and the paint power seems to be a little more balanced on Big Hit Beans. They have the S-Blast and everything. Everything is just sort of working together. The Dynamo to both kill and paint, whereas Communication Error just seems to be doing killing using the painting weapons, which is like cool. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just like hard to get used to because you don't normally expect an Aerospray is going to go play aggressive and then just, you know, solo reslide you.
Yeah. Yeah, I am sorry. But yeah, like you're able to really have a lot of that combined pressure. You're able to have the paint is going to enable the backline to be able to move in and be able to cause that overwhelming pressure. Just because like movement isn't the easiest, and especially like with their Flingza that wants to stay under the ink.
Under ink. Hopefully not underwater.
Yeah, hopefully not in the water, especially since we're on tower control hagglefish, which I know I have some experience with being caught in the water.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us sometimes.
Before stream,
so
recounting events.
Looks like a pretty big adjustment, honestly, coming out from the side of Communication Error. They got the Mini, and they have a Charger now. Previously, that role was sort of filled by the Explo, and I think Charger's a smart pick here because you can kind of set yourself up. Already a trade going on the right-hand side. That's a big swing trade with a Dapple. You don't see that every single day. But 2 down on the side of Communication Error. I think it's time for Big Hit Beans to move up.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to see how this goes. We're playing a little far back as it looks like that Big Hit Beans is able to take the first push with the tower. Mekwa getting a kill here and just unfortunately being able to get sniped by Meep Beep. Meep Beep, Beep having it, oh, it's hard to say, having a good time. Having a good time being able to cause that aerial pressure for their team, keeping them stalled back while they're able to re-rally and eventually retaliate against that initial first push. I'm having trouble.
Indeed, and the point you make about Meat Beep is really interesting because on a stage like this, you can go 2 down and still be scared of approaching because of the Charger's positioning, right? Like if the Charger's in the position, or maybe enabling something like Sonic to get a triple, can it be a quad? Okay, maybe not today. To move forward, then suddenly you have a very different dynamic than the slowness you might expect coming out of a Charger comp. But already, just again, smiley face here. I believe that's Noob on the Big Swig roller has just been shutting down every single attempt that Big Hit Beans has been trying to get to mid.
Yeah, it's been a, it looks like it's been a little bit of a fight to try and just fight for control over that general tower, but it looks like Communication Error is very determined. No, we want to have a push.
Yeah,
you're going to let us.
Whether they're forcing it, whether or not they all go down, and it seems like they're all going down in this particular case. As Kraken here with the newly buffed Dynamo gets the aura, but again falls to Meat Beep. And we were saying like the Charger has such a presence here, and again Meat Beep just getting the meeps and the beeps on these.
They are hitting those beeps.
They absolutely were. But Riley, no one has gotten to the first check. Like, they've touched it, and that's it. We are 2.5 minutes into the match, and the biggest score is 73.
Yeah, and I feel like a big part of this does come down to familiarity with these weapons. Like I was saying, oh, that's a triple on the side of, I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah, Big Hit Beans was able to get the triple. That was T-Man there really popping off on the ramp. But yeah, the familiarity with the weapons is they've been playing a little bit more of a consistent comp. And I feel like as soon as they're able to do stuff like this, pop the bubble in a good situation, suddenly this is turning from just the first check into a snowball.
Yes, and we are, unfortunately, the bubble has been used to get past that second check already. So it's going past into the third is a little bit harder, and it leads to the wipeout. And so it looks like that Communication Error is able to quickly retake back into Big Hit Bean's side of mid, and we are going to see if they are able to, once the tower catches up a little bit, get their own counter push off. We see a triple splashdown right now. Not much effectiveness other than keeping them in their base. But with those buffs, that swag, or no, that was the that was the Dynamo able to it's able to actually take people down.
I'm the bigger roller in this particular case, but you know, with that said, it's only Kraken alive here, and it looks like Communication Error is going to easily clear this first checkpoint. And if they get the trips out here from Meat Beep, this could be a lot more.
Yeah, and Meat Beep actually having like a really good. I really like the switch to the Charger from Meat Beep, just because this actually allows them to have that little edge over the new Dynamo.
Indeed,
just where
a little more range.
Where there's a little difficulty for countering Dynamo, that's really the solution there, is pick your weapon with range. Kraken's stuck in the air for a while, but sometimes Kraken can just, you know, get three.
Just do the Dynamo things. As soon as we're done talking about Dynamo, the Dynamo decides to pop off. Excellent showing from Kraken there to get the triple and maybe an assist on the last one. I'm not entirely sure. Still Orad. I think that they're probably going to want to watch this top right here. Don't forget, folks, they've already cleared both of the first 2 checkpoints, and they only need one more to work toward the wipeout.
Yes, and we are seeing Specials come out right now, trying to break out of the slight hold that's going on here, back into a neutral position. Sonic able to get a kill, and we're going to see if they're able to capitalize on that. Seeing Meat Beep now also being able to watch the opposite flank, and we are slowly but surely making our way in with another kill on the side of Communication Error, taking out Kraken, that deadly Dynamo. And unfortunately, the rush at Meat gets beeped.
Indeed. Oh, my goodness. Meat Beep going absolutely insane, folks. That is, I think, a soft wipeout there, as Sonic is now where they've wanted to be all game. Noir T does have the bubble ready. Don't forget, folks, they do have to clear this entire checkpoint, but they have the mini on the opponent's side already down. If they get a pick in top right, it's going to be absolutely essential, but no, the GG Booyah comes. It's just the roller. Oh, what a showing as a counter push at the end. I thought they might have been able to go all the way.
For sure. Like, they were almost there. I believe I saw, like, there was a little bit of a struggle for being able to figure out who's going to be positioned on that top right
who's
side.
Who's going to be in top right? And who's going to stand on tower? Because it's like the Chargers on tower left. Watch this replay right here. They had to get this pick in top right. Unfortunately, they just couldn't. The Booyah comes out, hits the pole, it happens, and just the roller is being swarmed.
Yeah.
You know, had they gotten that pick top right, that would have basically gotten rid of the GG Booyah. Bubble's already out at that point, so, like, for all we know, this game could have turned at the last possible minute there.
Yeah.
But, you know, excellent showing from the team, especially with how big their opponent's push was at the beginning. That can be very disheartening, right? You're like, oh, geez, now we have to clear 2 checkpoints, push to 19, and, you know, come all the way back. And they were up for it. They're like, we're going to fight you whether you like it or not up here. So,
yeah, for sure. And I know that, I really hope that they're taking the message from this match result as not we lost.
Yeah.
But instead as we almost took it back.
Almost there. We almost took it back.
We can take the next one.
And then I think a similar thing for the opponent's big hit Beans. If we get enough picks, and I think that was that excellent triple from T-Man there, was able to change the game entirely for them. It was that triple that translated into a push to 20, and I think they also need to keep in mind, hey, it doesn't matter if the first 2 minutes of the game are a complete stall. If we just get enough picks with our weapons, we can translate it. Is this what I think it is? Is this an arrow spray on both sides?
Oh, my goodness.
Riley, when was the last time you saw the screen arrow spray?
Well, I haven't played since it came out, so since that update that made it come out. It's been a minute.
Like, I kind of get the pick. Like, if you throw the screen, it becomes much harder to get the players who are pushing up your plat here. But, like, screen arrow spray is just so unusual. And Noir T, the arrow spray v arrow spray is insufficient. It looks like they are going to score here. But, you know, there's not going to be a whole lot of follow-up from Communication Error unless they get a bunch of picks. And I think that's probably going to be the end of Communication Error's push here.
Yes, and it looks like with the 71, we are just under the two needed balls in order to make the lead.
Indeed.
So just with two super clams, or power clams, we are able to take the score. Sorry.
Yeah, if they had
I've been out of the
two
game for a
clams,
minute.
that would be a push to 16. They take the lead right back. Although I will say, Big Hit Beans, they haven't really built the clam economy quite yet, right? Like, they've gotten several picks in mid, and they have a decent number of clams, but it seems like every time they want to do something, something like that happens. Like a Reef Slider comes out, or maybe there's just some counterplay from the opponent's side, and it looks like they're going to force it here. They're going to force it in by just throwing players, going back to a 1v1 situation. As Makwa does win the fight, they're going to have to win 2 more, and it just is not meant to be, Riley.
No. I'm noticing from both teams that Reef Sliders are going out while holding the power clam. And I would like to see both teams learn from what has happened in both cases, where the clam goes flying and then it does not get scored.
You cannot predict where that clam is going to go if you try to slide using the power clam.
I would love to see people like try the slider cheese of bringing the slider in, jumping to it, and popping the clam, or just running in right behind it.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop a freight train.
Yeah.
You can just follow behind it.
With how chaotic both these teams are playing, I think the slider plays to both of their strengths, as Sonic is just dipping and dodging. Somehow it's survived. Here comes the slider again. But T-Man, once again, they position themselves in a way that prohibits their opponents from getting anything from that special. And now it's 2 down. But yet again, Sonic is now doing what they do.
Sonic is just farming this edge now.
Just edge farming, ledge farming, aura farming is what Sonic is doing here. Just trying to get behind their opponent. If they can get a second pick here, I think that would be fairly large. Unfortunately, being on 1 HP is not going to be today.
No, and that enables that Magic Storm to come out, be able to, oh boy, cause a Magic Storm of damage over here as they're able to cause a distraction, get that flank off, take down 2 in the process, cause absolute
don't know what's
panic.
happening, Riley. I
Absolute panic at the
don't know
ramp
what's
and,
going on right now.
Able to well stop a push, that's for sure.
The pushes have been incredibly scrappy. It's been some combination of we have a ball, we have a Reef Slider, and we have 1 or 2 members trying to like flank and rat from mid. But like Big Hit Beans just hasn't gotten to translate, and maybe that's what they needed, the pick from Kraken. But again, every time it happens, the Reef comes out. They need 3 clams here, or 4 clams, excuse me, to take the lead back here, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. This jump is surely going to be canceled. Oh, okay, maybe not quite. But a single ball is not enough to take the lead back.
No, and if anything, it helps their opponents by giving them an easy extra power clam. It doesn't look like they have more than that one, however, because of some other pushes in the past. But we are quickly seeing that that's not going to stop them. They are back into mid from the neutral, able to take advantage and hopefully be able to build up enough clams to further their lead.
You know, this entire day we've seen Smiley Face do some crazy rat things on this Flings a Roller, and it seems that the defense from Big Hit Beans has just been a little too much this time. It looks like they have not been able to consistently get them out. Smiley Face is pushing like crazy. That might be the answer we were looking for. But again, as soon as the ball comes out, it is just demolished by the side of Big Hit Beans. Kraken is auraed up, and it looks like this is their chance to push. They need one more. T-Man is not going to make it. No! An inopportune miss at the worst possible time. They do recover the ball and break it and take the lead.
Oh my gosh, with 30 seconds remaining, if they can keep the basket open long enough, it doesn't look... Oh, there they go. They're able to sneak a couple in. If they can keep it going, they might be able to just happen to avoid overtime. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case, and we've got 2 power clams already ready on the side of communication error, so it's going to be a need for some golden defense right now in order to keep that lead from switching the other direction in this overtime.
They need the Reef Slider here. 2 are down. If they could slide here and then just finish it off would be key. With 1 down, it's a 1v1. Meat Beat versus the world. They come forward. They score it. They need another. And they take the lead. What a Charger play at the end from Meep Beep. Generally, you don't think the Charger is the person to be making the crazy clam scores. But did I see that correctly? They threw the wall down, scored the ball, grabbed a small clam, and scored it to take the lead.
Yes. That was some really, really nice movement going on in order to help them be able to navigate that absolute chaos. I didn't know what was going on in that situation.
Let's look at this replay at the bottom of your screen right here. So we saw it was a 4v2 situation. Someone from the side Big Hit Beans was able to get like 3 of them. Then Meat Beep gets the strips out, gets the wall out, and then has the presence of mind to double back on the small clam, knowing that that power was not sufficient for them to get the lead.
Exactly.
Absolutely nuts from both teams there.
Yes, absolutely. Being able to read your surroundings as well. Even as like the thing about that sets Splatoon apart, I feel like from a lot of other shooters, is that one, it's really freaking chaotic. There's a lot of visual noise going on.
And we saw that during the game. I didn't know what was happening at that game.
Yeah, me either. And being able to filter out all of the noise and pay attention to, there's a small clam right behind me to my left, and I'm going to need that. And so knowing that as soon as you shoot in, where you need to go, what you need to do in order to continue that objective.
I'm moving forward to score. I know my wall's behind me. I know the trips just came out, and I've also done the mental math to know I need to score one more clam. It's just it's so much to handle simultaneously, and just both of these teams, I feel like, are right on the razor's edge of balance against each other. Like every single game, sure, there's been some that have been closer than others, but also we've seen just 2 games in a row here where it could have gone either way at the end. Like the TC game was honestly really close, and that Clams game, as we saw, was honestly really close. So
yes, this is a really entertaining Silver Finals.
It really is. I couldn't have asked for anything better in Silver Finals. But my bigger question, Riley, is like, do they keep Meat Beep on the charger, or are they like, okay, no, we're gonna go to a new mode here. I think it's gonna be Rainmaker coming up because we've seen the other 3. This is a best of 5. Are they like, okay, we need something a little faster? Maybe the Explo comes back out, or maybe they just pick something that we've never seen before because this team likes to pick crazy, crazy picks.
Yes, we're seeing Rainmaker Scorch Gorge. And we are going to need Big Hit Beans to take another win here if we want to see a Game 5.
Yeah.
And won't that be interesting if every game after this is
could you imagine
5?
if everything was a Game 5? Loadouts here. So it looks like this Arrow Spray mirror, well, not quite a mirror, but Arrow Spray versus is going to stay. And it looks like, indeed, Meat Beep is going to stay here as well.
Looks like we have a tech error
and a technical error for a minute, so we might back out for just a second as we figure out this tech error. But, yeah, really interesting play from both of these teams here. I think they've kind of figured each other out. They know, hey, you have an Arrow Spray, I'm going to bring an Arrow Spray. Like, you have a charger, I have counterplay to that charger. You got a Reef Slider, we got a Reef Slider. Like, they're figuring out how to counterplay each other. And I will say in general, Big Hit Beans has turned around a lot from that Mako Mart game. The Mako Mart game was, I'd say, pretty firmly in Communication Error's favor because, like we saw, it was a pretty hard blockout, right? Like, they did get back to mid, but ultimately they spent most of their time just preventing their opponents from dropping. And then in the Haggle game, obviously, with that amazing push up the ramp. And then even in the Inkblot game, they were winning until the Meat Beat play at the end. So, like, they've really figured out, I would say, a lot better than they did in the first game, how Communication Error works and also how to counter them. And I think they're going to need to continue to adapt, right? Like, they can't just stay with what won on Hagglefish, whether that's keeping the weapons the same and changing the strategy, or maybe the weapons change as well. But Rainmaker's the dynamic mode, right? Like, Rainmaker, it's moving with you. It's not like Splat 2 where, you know, if you get a wipe, then you could just run it all the way to their spawn thanks to the checkpoints. Thank goodness for checkpoints. But, like, it is chaotic. Things move quickly. And if you have a Reef Slider that gets, like, 1, 2, 3, 4 from down, then, like, suddenly the game goes from, oh, it's really close to, oh, they just pushed a 10.
Yeah. And it looks like we are getting thumbs up. We are slowly getting ready to go back in the game.
Okay, hopefully tech issues have been mostly resolved. They're definitely laughing over something. Something is extremely funny. I also like the fact that 2 of the members on Communication Error has occurred have like question marks over their head right now. It's like the emoticons in Animal Crossing, you know, that where it's like, oh, I need to give you my, you know, old worn-out T-shirt or something that one of your neighbors runs up and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm thinking really hard about how I'm going to give you my shirt.
Let me think about this. Or maybe they're thinking really hard how they're going to counter the opponent here. Maybe that's all part of the strategy. But laughs all around as they work out the last of the tech issues and we get back into the Scorch Gorge. You know, one thing I absolutely do love about lands like this is the way everything kind of balances each other out and just how much fun you can have with it, right?
Yeah.
With the stakes being, there's always stakes, I would say.
Yeah.
But knowing that it's a consistent running event, and these are people that in a lot of cases you see over and over again, which is wonderful. So maybe you're going to be their opponents one day and you're going to be their teammates the next, right? Like having those sorts of dynamics is just what makes lands a lot of fun. But as we finally get into Scorch Gorge Rainmaker, The 52 gal is pulled out, and it looks like, as we said, the Aerospray versus Aerospray is here to stay.
Yes. Here we go. We are into our Game 4 situation over here with Rainmaker Scorch Gorge, and we are able to see an easy first pop. I believe that was on the side of communication error, but it's very quickly turning blue over here with that Dynamo, which just now goes down now that I mention it.
Yep. 3 down on the side. It's just the Aerospray here in mid. They are picked off. Okay, so there is a checkpoint in the middle, which is good because that would have been very, very bad for Big Hit Beans if not. But, you know, first checkpoint going down this early isn't the end of the world. It really depends on what Big Hit Beans is going to do. However, things are not looking too great here with Sonic going absolutely crazy, looking for a second one down here. Magic Storm needs to find the pick, and they just barely get it, I think. That could have been really, really bad. Kraken finally able to clean up here. You know, Riley, I thought this was going to be worse than 24, and honestly, it could still be if they can't camp this jump.
Yeah, exactly. And luckily, we are able to see Norty go down here as they are able to flush the enemy out of their base. However, we are going to see that a very, very slippery Sonic move in to try and take a kill. Not going to be able to, but it looks like that the roller is going to clean up. We are seeing that the Big Hit Beans are now back into mid with that reset, trying to fight for the pop. I'm seeing a flank on the side, and we are getting a wipeout.
Okay. 2 wipeouts now. Unfortunately, the difference between this one and the last one is you do not have a checkpoint in the way. I will say that Big Hit Beans has regained position pretty quickly, so they will slow their opponents down, but they need to be extremely careful, and more importantly, they need to get the pick. T-Man, again, coming up big for their team here, able to get that pick, but they need to flush one out. Yes, they are flushed out. Finally, Big Hit Beans can retake mid, but, you know, Riley, I think they have to do something a little different this time, because last time they were in a similar position, retaking mid after the team fight, and they just lost a lot of players, and if that keeps on happening, then it's going to be very difficult for them to have a presence here.
Yes, and we're seeing some team-ups to be able to take out the back line of communication error, but it looks like that we are seeing some Reef Sliders able to clean up and keep things more in a neutral state. However, the screen is able to cause that blind, and we are seeing Magic Storm take 2 down, or at least help in the second, and with another reset, we are going for a quick pop and hopefully a grab soon. Unfortunately, taking it right in front of the newly respawned Charger is just going to end in doom.
Indeed it is. And, you know, it was a very good shot for Big Hit Beans there. They had them 2 down, but the Charger was just in the right place at the right time, positioned themselves to get rid of that Rainmaker, and then the punish on the Reef Slider. And again, same storyline that we've seen previously with, again, Meat Beat just hitting these shots and preventing the opponent from having much of a presence in mid at all. T-Man here is in a really, really difficult spot. They're either going to have to jump out or maybe win a crazy fight. And again, Rainmaker is just stalling in mid as finally T-Man goes down, and it's only the screen protecting Big Hit Beans from being pushed on.
Yes, and it looks like that now that it's over, we're seeing a very, I'm not sure I like how they moved back a little bit, but we are able to move up onto the ramp at the very least.
Ooh.
Nice snipe coming out of Meat Beat, and we are now back yet again into neutral with that lost Rainmaker.
Yeah, you know, I think communication error at this point has sort of decided we don't need to push like crazy because the opponent has not pushed the Rainmaker past mid. Like, sure, we could use more points, but we don't need the more points. So that's why they're not playing super aggressively. And they just, Meat Beat has shut down every single time Big Hit Beans tries to push. Again, it's just the Aerospray, and they are going to die to the roller here. This is probably going to be a much bigger push than what we had said previously with the triple strikes coming out. Noir T actually deciding to bide their time a little bit here, which I think might end up being punished if they don't get this pick, but they do get this pick. And if they can just get 1 or 2 down here, the answer is no. Big Hit Beans does prevent the bleeding, but they have a long way to go to take the lead.
Oh, yes, for sure. And I think I noticed something, which is that Meat Beef is the secret weapon here for this team. They don't really, there we go, as I say it,
right
predicting the future, taking down the Dynamo. They don't have a lot of counters to the Charger.
They need to get rid of Meat Beat before they push through mid, and Sonic has been going insane this whole game, getting the aura, and it's just 1 member remaining. We're going to need to see a generational push from the side of Big Hit Beans if they want to take this back from communication errors occurred. heard, you need to get the Rainmaker, get rid of the Charger, and finally stop pushing. They have decided to push up here, and with one layer down, it's just going to be T-Man, and they do get the pick, but now it's just the arrow
Rainmaker
spray.
down, we've got the air.
No!
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it wasn't meant to be.
Very good game.
A game. And Riley, you said this earlier, but like they just did not have the counterplay from Meat Beam, right?
Yeah.
Like Charger got to mid, and you can think we can do multiple things against the Charger. Like we can throw bombs, we can maybe throw the screen out there to like throw off their aim, but like if you can't translate that into the Charger either going down or being far enough back to not be a threat, then the Charger's just going to constantly pick you off. And we saw multiple times where honestly Big Hit Beans was in a pretty good position. They had them 2 down, but they just could not move. Or when they did try to move, they just went 1 or 2 down to the Charger. So the counterplay is difficult, right?
Yes.
Like it's always hard to counterplay something, especially if you don't know what they're going to play.
Exactly. And, but, well, we see that communication error has occurred, has come out on top, as it always does, it seems, on the Nintendo servers.
Communication error has occurred. Hopefully we don't see that in the LAN situation, but to your point, we always see it. Huge congrats to a communication error has occurred for winning the silver bracket here at SeaBATTLE number 8, Octarian Moon. Excellent play from each of them, and also huge GG shout out to Big Hit Beans as well for putting up an excellent fight in the finals.
Yes. Definitely some close games in that set, and
Totally.
I'm quite enjoyed watching it with you.
Very much
and,
so.
well, we are, now that we have finished silver finals, we're
Yes.
getting ready to come into top cuts.
Yes, top cut
And
is
before
coming
we
up.
do that, I believe there's a special announcement coming up.
Yes, we have a special announcement coming up in just a second, but we're going to have a
going to be
comment
yapping
about the
some
top
more.
cut first, because don't forget that going in the top cut, we started with all the teams in pools, and then we went to redemption. 2 teams came out of redemption, so top cut will be 4 teams, and whoever wins semis, then finals, which, by the way, will be a best of 7, by the way. Just so you know, it'll be a best of 7, will walk away as your SeaBATTLE 8 champion. I'm looking forward to it. We've seen some really good plays today.
Yes, I'm always a fan of these events and just being able to see all these great players as they come out. And yeah, I don't have the teams in front of me.
Yeah, I think I have a decent idea of who they're going to be. I think it's going to be.
I have a decent idea of at least one team.
Okay, Crush by Shield is one of those.
Okay.
And I'm excited to see because I think they were going to play Tent. Tent is going to be, we haven't seen much of that today except for Crush by Shield is one. I think it's called Kiwi Left Us for Malaysia or something. There's some combination of Malaysia in the team name. They also had an extremely strong showing earlier today. I had the misfortune of playing against them, and they are very, very strong.
Okay.
And then finally, My Enjoyers. My is a game. Rhythm game, very based. Unfortunately, it just got. There is one at Gameworks, but they had some server error. We haven't been able to play it today. And then I believe the last one in Top Cut is going to be Saturday Night SeaBATTLE, who was 3rd place in last SeaBATTLE, and they have been an absolute joy to watch.
Awesome.
Like they have been so powerful. So
yeah, it's been great to see them return, have these returning teams.
Indeed.
Lots of returning players here at this local. And guess what? This is a smaller event for us. I know that in the future, it fluctuates, it comes and goes.
Yeah, sometimes there's
life
more, sometimes
happens
there's
for
less.
everybody, and I feel like this is a nice sleepy time of year.
It is.
But
yeah.
I know that the next event coming up in April gets around closer towards those college finals, gets into the brighter season.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot more to come up. I would say as we get into the summer months, and do be expected that there will be more SeaBATTLE to be had. Quick reminder for everyone, by the way, I don't think I have the sticker here. I do have the sticker here anymore. We talked about this earlier, but we are have been collecting donations for the Rainier Valley Food Bank the entire day and been giving out these. I want to do the up higher here again. I tried this earlier. They're so washed out. Okay, help me around.
Sorry, I'm trying.
There you go. There
okay,
you can see
the one.
Beautiful Eddie
and
there.
then you can see the other. Yay, Eddie.
These Eddie doing their own contributions to the food bank as well. So the contributions, we've been able to get, I think, a couple of giant boxes. I saw them when I was coming in as well. I mean, it's an important time of year to be giving back to the community and such. So if you have them, drop them by. I think that some of it's been picked up so far today, but always good to donate.
Yeah, and it's been so nice being able to see, we know that Splatoon community super welcoming, super open, super accepting very nice group of peoples, and I'm really glad that we're able to channel that same energy that we have in those online spaces,
Totally.
in these Splatoon spaces,
Into an IRL space.
into the
Yeah.
IRL space. And I
great.
think that's a really nice thing to do with this LAN in particular.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like the LANs in the Splatoon community really integrate, that mix of real
Yes.
life and
Yes. Yeah.
and our eternally online Splatoon game.
Yeah.
And so it's just really nice being able to see that we can actually, as a community,
Yeah.
come together and make a difference.
Yeah, come together and do good. And it's really interesting because, like, we talk to these people online all the time. Like, my team is spread throughout the entire United States, so, like, everyone is everywhere.
yeah.
But being able to come in person and, like, see people who I haven't seen for a while, or maybe I've only talked with them online and we've played some online games, so just come in person. There's nothing quite like the camaraderie that comes
Yeah.
out of just, like, getting in person and playing some crazy Squid Game and then popping off when something crazy happens on stream, and then the joys of despair when you fall into the water. Happened to me earlier. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, the
It's like that.
food bank is just all part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Right.
yeah,
I know we are now waiting for some go-ahead from the TOs.
yeah, I think
but-
that we're getting ready for some potential special announcement coming up. You didn't hear
Potentially.
from us. Well, maybe you
Who
didn't
knows?
hear it from us about a special announcement that's coming up at some point. I noticed that a banner has appeared across the bottom of the screen, so I figured it's time for me to start alluding to a special announcement
Yes.
that's coming up. That doesn't necessarily mean the special announcement has been here already, but certainly
It's
surely
on its
there
way.
there will be one at some point in the
Yes.
the
It is stuck
near
in traffic.
future. Stuck in traffic. as
Stuck
we-
in downtown
prepare.
Seattle traffic.
Yeah, with all the construction and everything going on. It got really bad earlier this year when I-5, remember
Yeah.
up over there, they
Oh,
were shutting
gosh,
down
yeah.
the Ship Canal Bridge, and they had like 2 lanes turned off where they were repairing some of the joints or something. I don't remember. It was
Yeah.
it was a nightmare for a couple of weeks
It's
here.
been a mess.
It has truly been a mess. We've had, I think it's just a Seattle thing. Like, the nature of our region is it's so, like, skinny and narrow
Yeah.
that there's only a couple of thoroughfares that run from north to south. So it's just
Yeah.
supposed to be, like,
Fun fact.
crowded. Fun fact.
Fun fact about that. I watched a video about this recently.
Really?
And this is they changed it. This is a history lesson, I guess,
Okay.
for people online that aren't from the area.
Yes.
Seattle's like an isthmus. Isthmus? I don't
know how to say it either. I know what the word you're
isthmus.
talking about is, though. Yes, that.
You know, the thing where there's a very narrow strip of land in between multiple bodies of water. And that's why, actually, that there are only, like, I-5 and 405, like these
Yes.
these main corridors.
Yeah, because you can't build in the water, and really
Yeah.
there's only 520
Yeah.
and 90 that go across it.
Yeah.
So, like,
And it's also why there's so much construction.
exactly
Because
100% of the time.
half of the Seattle,
feels that way.
the port of Seattle in our area is like super terraformed.
Yes.
It's,
oh
it's,
yeah.
It was a very interesting video, just about how like we literally moved a hill.
Yeah.
I almost said moved a mountain.
Yeah,
but
and
like,
a bunch of the stuff down at the port is just built on fill.
Yep.
Like, as well. Like, they just filled it in because they're like, we need more land to build stuff on.
yeah,
So they just
we
filled
took
it
the
in.
hill
Yes.
and we pushed it somewhere else and then laid it flat.
Yes. Also, if there's anyone watching online that wants more Seattle lore, we have what will be the very first light rail crossing a floating bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly going to open this summer, or I guess even in March.
I believe
actually,
it was
it's
the
even
first
sooner.
floating bridge too. At
Oh
one
my
point.
goodness! So yes,
Lot
it
of
is.
firsts.
It is routine. If y'all aren't aware, I had to drive it to get here today for
Oh, yeah.
Seattleites to drive across floating
I drive
bridges.
it for work.
Yes, it's just normal for us. So in the rest of the world, drive across floating bridges might not be common, but here in Seattle, you got to get across the lake somehow,
yeah,
right?
concrete floats, guys. What are you talking about? Concrete floats.
It does float.
Yeah.
It's all about buoyancy, right? Got a couple of quirks about Seattle, let's just say that, where
Yeah.
you can either go around the lake, you can go above it, you can go beneath it, or you could go across it. And that's the only way. I mean, I guess supposedly you could just get on your boat and you could swim across it, I guess, but that sounds a very uncomfortable way of getting to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Seattle lore.
Yeah, I've been on the water and like only for like leisure, but
yeah.
Even then it's still not always that comfortable. It's
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah,
it gets
it's
cold
very
quick.
cold, and also the lake gets shockingly choppy. as well.
Yeah.
Like, you don't expect, you expect it to be kind of like calm and such because of the way that it is, but like I think the combination of like the wind and also it's supposed to be super deep, getting back to the whole floating bridge thing, the reason why it floats is because the lake is super, super deep and like the sediment at the bottom is not stable. So they can't put piers all the way down there because that won't work, won't be stable, so they have to float. So yeah, very interesting life that we live here in Seattle. Where we're surrounded by water on multiple sides.
We are presented with many problems, and we come up with very interesting solutions.
And sometimes part of the solution involves a lot of traffic because there's, as you said, only 5 on one side and 405 on the other. Man, I was not expecting to talk about, you know, infrastructure here at SeaBATTLE, but I'm actually like kind of here for it because it's really interesting things. So if you're from out of state and ever get the chance to visit Seattle, like go see the Space Needle. Like, yeah, go see the waterfront. Like, there's a lot of interesting things to see.
You could talk about the history of the freaking waterfront with the viaduct. You can talk about.
Are we going to talk about the viaduct? Okay, we'll talk about the viaduct. Let's talk about the viaduct. Okay. Okay. We're just going to talk about the viaduct.
Can you tell we grew up here?
Yes. So here's what they did in Seattle. They're like, okay, we need a way of getting people through downtown and like close to the water. Here's a great idea. Let's build a massive double-decker concrete strip. Was it double or triple? I don't even remember.
I think it was double.
So, giant concrete structure just in front of the waterfront, just like that. So you'd go to the waterfront.
It was ugly as hell.
It was. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Super duper ugly. Just like concrete structure down by the viaduct, and that is how you would get through downtown. You would get on this ugly, like, it looked like it was made by modern Romans. Like the way, you know, it's like an aqueduct, but had stinky cars on top of it instead. And they eventually decided, hey, this thing is really ugly. It's ruining the waterfront. So we are going to.
And it was also dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Earthquakes.
The dangerous part of it due to earthquake. Man,
that's the actual reason why it got removed.
But like they were like, we need to get rid of this thing, so we're just going to build a freaking tunnel underneath instead. So that is the story of the viaduct. And you will see it at some point.
Yes.
We beat around the bush enough.
There's a lot of weird infrastructure. It's fun stuff. And looks like we are finally ready to show you that special announcement.
There is a special announcement. Can we roll the special announcement, please?
What happened? Can they get the final 20? The answer is yes. It's not over.
Yes.
Patient here, and they need to. Good shots coming from Ivy. 2 incredible shots, but it's not enough.
They let them get the cap there for a minute, but the
team is taking the lead.
Oh my gosh!
It's gonna be a knockout.
Are they gonna make it to the basket? They get it off, but no!
Trying to pick on Nerd. It's a wipeout.
All right, folks. SeaBATTLE Royale is coming back to the University of Washington on April 4th, and this will be our LAN Championship qualifier.
Yes,
so
if you remember from the previous year and the previous Royale, we were able to have a crazy showdown that went down, just fighting for that one spot to be able to make it to the LAN Championship Showdown.
Yeah.
And we are now able to bring that back as the Championship Showdown comes back
in
2026.
2026, LAN Championship qualifier at UW Royale has returned. I am so excited for this.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. It was so fun last year.
Yes.
We hope to have so much fun again this year. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to see all kinds of crazy things, all kinds of crazy shows, all kinds of crazy plays.
Totally.
And we're going to see how we're just going to top it. It's just going to be cool. I'm
not
going to even say, I wonder how they're going to top it. We're just going to top it.
Oh, we totally are.
We're going to top it.
So, again, if you want to qualify for the championship, please come to Seattle. If we haven't sold you on all of our cool bridges and viaducts and stuff here, then just come for Royale at least.
There's other cool things, too.
There's other cool things than just the infrastructure, I swear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, with it happening in the spring, it's going to be the cherry blossom season.
Yeah,
come to Seattle, do tourist things, come do our LAN championship, come compete. And there's plenty of stuff to do. It's the best time of year out here. And it's the best time of year for some Splatoon.
Indeed it is. So, as you are aware, prepare for the new one. Top Cut is coming up, and we will see you later.
All right.